One, I think, cold winter night, early 2003. And we were thinking, what should we do this evening? And we had the idea, why don't we create our own game? I started to have the idea to create games already when I was 12 or 14 years old. I worked on very small games that I just showed to some of my friends, and by this I learned programming.
I was always, as a teenager, very interested in gaming, especially in strategy games. The reason why we created the game, we saw this new trend about browser-based games.
We started at our parents' homes, so we had no real office in the beginning. We worked at home on our computers. Maybe in the evening we met us again for a beer. So we three were good as a team because we had different focus on our professions. Henrik is the core developer. I came more from the hardware side, so more system administration, and Eike as a designer, artist.
In the first years, it was a very small startup. We started with just us three people, and especially in Stade, for example, it was also from the infrastructure sometimes not very easy. So we had a Wi-Fi connection to another building to get internet into our own office building, so it was quite an effort to set this up.
The first success of Tribal Wars was amazing. Especially on the first day, we saw so many new players. They registered, we made updates every second and looked, okay, oh, here are two new players. It's not about because we saw, okay, now the company is started. It was because we know, yes, the players love the game we have created, and that was an amazing feeling.
We launched our very first game, Tribal Wars, only in Germany, and we grew it just organically. And after a while, we realized we also need to add international versions for our game. Then it was becoming clear for us, we also need to build a bigger team and hire additional people to support us, to find really the best talent on an international level. You cannot stay in Stade. You have to make a decision, and our decision was to go to Hamburg.
We came across InnoGames as part of our work on next generation of online games, what we call sort of democratization of games. I remember, spending first few meetings with the founders, and I thought that they were extremely honest and passionate. Also their expertise and ability to, with relatively limited amount of resources, build already a very successful company. I thought this was a kind of an unpolished diamond, and my hope and belief was that with some of the sort of skills that we have in helping companies scale up, we can really make this one into a global success.
So at the beginning, our management team was just our founders. But it was clear for us that we need to bring in additional experience and knowledge. 8roads helped us in many different ways. One aspect was, for example, building up a professional board structure, recruiting our chairman, and then really have these regular meetings where we can also discuss this company strategy, discuss what are the most important aspects for us, keeping focus. This was really helpful, and it also worked out that we were able to grow from 40 to 100 people, and then later, of course, even more.
They've never raised a single penny of capital to get to where they got to. They've used, I think, something like 50 euros to buy their first server. So when we came across them, they didn't have any investors. The founders worked relentlessly for a few years leading up to that point. Games tend to be head-driven business, and yet InnoGames experienced 13 consecutive years of growth. And what I would call that is a truly controlled growth, always growing at a pace that they were comfortable with.
So in a game like Tribal Wars, you always, of course, conquer new areas, but you need to be sure that you're not being too far away from each other. And this is the same if you think about the portfolio strategy within a games company. You cannot do 3 different genres at the same time, because then it does not fit together and it's not defendable. One thing I learned over the years, which is super important, is always keeping focus. There's so many opportunities around you, so many things that are also looking interesting, but it's really much better to really have focus where you want to grow and then really put your energy on your focus areas.
I think what we did right from begin on is that we be authentic to our employees. If we set some rules, we always keep our own rules and have exactly the same rules like every employee in the company.
The message I think InnoGames sends to everybody is, you can be from suburbs of Hamburg, you can be relatively cost-strapped or funding-strapped, and you can still build a world-class company. It's just a testament that you just need to have the right passion, commitment, and strategy.